This is Your Real Estate Advisor. Brought to you by Bankers Financial Group.
Hello everyone, I'm Chet Wilke, your real estate advisor. Okay, you found your dream home. You have an out in the contract subject to inspection during the option period. But you'd be surprised how many people say, why bother? I love this house. Great kitchen, it looks perfect. Well, it may look nice, but looks alone won't make you feel any better when it comes to wiring that comes up faulty or the foundation starts to sag. Look hard enough and you'll find flaws and defects in every home. Don't worry, small defects are found in even the best of construction, but it's important to know what they are before you buy so you can negotiate repairs before you move in. And if it's a big problem, you'll save yourself a lot of money and aggravation. So, what goes into inspection? Who pays for it? What does it cost? What are your options if something does turn up? Well, today we'll give you a real-life look at an inspection and give you some answers firsthand. By the way, if you have an inspection question or any other real estate question you want to ask us, just give us a call. It's toll-free, 1-877-977-8926. Or just email us by logging on to TXCN.com and click on Your Real Estate Advisor. That number again is 1-877-977-8926. Okay, we set up an inspection this week so that we could walk you through the process today. And to do that, we called on TXCN news anchor Deanna Dewberry, who had her own home inspected, and Darrell Tinglov, who conducted the inspection. Welcome to the show, Deanna.
Absolutely.
It's unusual seeing you on that side of the desk.
I know, it feels pretty weird for me too, I tell you.
And Darrell, thanks for coming over.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you putting up with our camera crew. I understand they were there for quite a long time the other day, huh?
I think I might have wore him out.
So let me ask you, did she have the luck of the Irish for the inspection?
Did she have the luck of the Irish? Deanna came to me with some questions, some structural problems that she thought she had. We went through the entire process, which took about 3.5 hours on her house, and it turned out that she had some issues, but no major structural problems. I think we gave her some peace of mind with her house.
And I tell you, I have so much respect for what this guy does. I mean, you went through everything from the plumbing to possible structural problems to foundation to soffit vents. I mean, what the heck is soffit vents?
Absolutely.
And so, I just learned a whole lot about what goes into this, and I wish I'd had you before, actually.
I wish you would have had me.
So, in the way of qualifications for an inspector, give us an idea of what an inspector, what kind of experience level he has to have.
Well, basically, we're licensed through the Texas Real Estate Commission like appraisers and like real estate agents are, so there's some accountability held on inspectors. The qualifications, what you're looking for is a professional inspector that's been in the field. This business, we gain experience by being out there and doing inspections daily. What you're looking for is a professional inspector licensed through the Texas Real Estate Commission to do the job for you.
And they can find out probably by talking to their agent, or Some
great referrals come from real estate agents. You can get referrals from inspectors or for inspectors by friends or relatives, people that's used that particular inspector before. Also, there's associations out there, the Texas Association of Real Estate Inspectors and the North Texas chapter of Real Estate Inspectors. Those are places to turn to look for a qualified inspector.
Should you also look for years of experience?
I think years of experience are good, and also the number of inspections that the
Right.
particular inspector has done.
Listen, before you get into the details of Deanna's inspection, a reminder that we'll be taking some phone calls from you guys. Just give us a holler, and we'd like to also have you log on to TXCN.com and send us an email so that we can talk to you during the show. When we come back, we're going to take a little break right now. When we come back, we're going to hear more about the inspection and the do's and don'ts about home inspection. Be right back. Hello, welcome back. I'm Chet Wilke, your real estate advisor. We have with us today Deanna Dewberry and Darrell Tinglov. Deanna, when you had your house inspected by Darrell, what were your expectations before he got to your house?
Well, I knew it'd be thorough. I mean, I was expecting it to be thorough. I didn't know you'd be that thorough. I mean, I know so much about my house now, and from big things that I was looking for, like possible foundation problems, I was worried about that, to little things like the bracket not being behind my stove to mount it in place. And I didn't expect you to be looking for the little bitty tiny things as well as the big things that I was looking for. It was just really helpful.
Well, Darrell, you crawl all over the house. You go in the attic, you go on the roof, you go everywhere. But I really want to know, did you find any dirty dishes in the kitchen?
An inspector never tells.
Hey, that's why I love this guy. See?
He's covering you, isn't he? Huh? What about qualifications? Tell us what kind of qualifications that an inspector should have. I mean, they've got to be experienced in a little bit in the building trades, I imagine.
Well, there's no one job skill that will prepare an inspector for this job. As Deanna saw, we went through your entire house. We looked at every single system in your house. There's just not one job that will prepare an inspector. It's basically on-the-job training that comes with years of doing inspections. We're in houses 2 to 3 times a day, looking at houses in depth, 3 to 4 hours on an inspection. Those are the experiences that an inspector gains. Quality.
So we need to be a jack of all trades kind of, aren't we?
Jack of all trades is what we're looking for, basically, in an inspector.
Let's take a look at it. We're going to look at your house and Darrell's inspection right about now.
It's important to note, though, before we get into it, that I've only been in the house about 6 months.
So she's covering herself a little bit.
Well, no. I just want to tell viewers this is brand new construction.
Yes, brand new.
Yeah, this isn't a pre-owned home, so you saw a lot of things that you see very often in brand new construction.
That's right.
So let's take a look.
Let's take a look at it.
Get a picture of the sinkhole also right here.
Darrell and Grant were at my house less than 30 seconds when they spotted a problem. There in the front yard, 5 by 3 feet and 6 inches deep, is a sinkhole. My husband and I lead busy lives. Rarely do we see each other, much less take notice of the yard. But this hole is hard to miss. We missed it. Darrell didn't.
They had to actually dig a hole or a trench to run that pipe in. And right here in this area, they didn't get the soil around that pipe. With all the rain, this area just sank. It's a common problem. So this soil not being compacted properly, could this possibly be a sign to us of, or indicative of, the soil not being compacted properly around my foundation? Hopefully not. Great. Now I'm nervous. We checked for signs of foundation problems. I showed Darrell a long crack in the mortar at each corner of the house. Is this a sign of a foundation shift? This brick is going to expand and contract with the heat. The bricks are tied back to the wood with brick ties. This joint in its nature is creating an expansion joint and loosening the mortar. That's not indicative of foundation movement there. Really? No. Oh, good. What would be? What would be to have diagonal cracking coming down the brick, seeing a stair-step pattern, okay? With that stair-step pattern opening up, a lot of times you will see a hairline crack. When you start to see a crack that gets to be a 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch in thickness, it's starting to show some foundation movement. Meanwhile, Grant was checking out another problem, a leak from the water line. The meter was not moving. That means the leak is on the city's side of the pipe. Water trickled constantly from my yard to the curb, something the city will have to repair. Next, Darrell went around the side of my house to check the air conditioning units. He listened to the compressor and condenser fan motor to assure they're running smoothly, and he recorded the size of the AC unit and minimum maximum breaker size located on the data plate. This one shows 19. The maximum breaker size is 30. And I will go back to the panel box and to verify that they installed the right size breaker. At my panel box, Darrell discovered builders have installed the right size breaker, but several wires are loose, creating a possible fire hazard. Back outside, Darrell climbed on the roof and inspected the shingles thoroughly. Though he found no major problems. At the front corner of the house, it looks like they ran some nails in for their framing and actually shot the nails through the shingles and through the decking. So there's a direct area at the front corner of the house that will allow water, or could allow water to penetrate. Darrell and I then went inside. First stop, the kitchen. Darrell looked under the sink and discovered that I don't have a high loop. What that high loop does is prevent food from your disposer from being sucked back into your dishwasher. Ugh. Next, he checked the ground fault circuit interrupter. It protects you from shock by taking the power from the outlet. Simulated trip. It takes the power away and our lights on our tester go out. This one is working, but the GFCI on 4 other kitchen outlets is not.
Then he tipped my stove forward. He shouldn't be able to do that. There's supposed to be a safety bracket mounting the stove in place. In the breakfast nook, I showed Darrell the area where we recently had a hairline crack repaired. Tape marks the spots painters will touch up. The crack was directly beneath the beam that supports the second floor. Darrell wanted to make sure that beam is large enough, so we went upstairs to look in the attic. While here, Darrell checked the return air ducts, the supply ducts, the AC unit, heat pump, and the framing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 that